Hello, I'm Linh and with me is Isabel Wilson, and today we will be talking about global temperature variations and heat waves. Global temperature variations are temperature changes in different areas of the world, while heat waves are periods of unusually hot weather. What is causing the global temperature variations and heat waves is the increasing concentrations of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Human-driven emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases like methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated gas are absorbing the infrared radiation and re-emitting it in all directions rather than passing through the atmosphere and back into space. The trapping of infrared radiation results to the Earth's increase in temperature over time. Another contributing factor to the variations in temperatures are urban heat islands. Temperatures in urban areas are often higher than rural areas because buildings, roads, and other infrastructures replace open land and vegetation. This makes urban areas a lot more prone to heat waves as the surfaces that were once permeable and moist have become impermeable and dry. The changes in temperatures can have various consequences on the environment. Firstly, it could lead to the rising of sea levels as the heat causes ice caps and glaciers to melt. Consequently, the thinning ice and longer summers destroy the habitats for animals like polar bears. Another implication that the change in temperature will have on the environment is the changes in length of seasons. Research has shown that the seasons are falling out of sync as climate change alters important cues like the arrival of spring warmth. There have also been more frequent heat waves which lead to an increase in the number of forest fires because at a certain temperature, wood releases a gas that reacts with oxygen present in air to trigger a flame that could spread quickly throughout the forest. The changes in temperature can also have consequences on man as it can increase the number of cardiorespiratory illnesses and the spread of infections. Moreover, it could affect agriculture as heat waves can result in severe droughts, leading to dead or damaged crops. Droughts will also lead to water shortage as man distribute and manage water resources poorly. The shortage of water could possibly lead to civil wars.
Although an individual cannot solve climate change, there are some things that can be done that will help nonetheless. One of the largest contributors of carbon emissions are cars, so by taking public transportation or carpooling, emissions can be reduced. One of the largest hindrances for probably all problems is a lack of awareness, especially in poorer areas. By educating others, especially those who do not receive formal education, more people can engage to help. Lastly, if a large number of people work together to appeal to the government to implement policies, they may be pressured to do so. Although it is often said, everyday simple solutions do help make a difference. Switch off, recycle. By reducing the cost differential between fossil fuels and carbon-free alternatives in favor of green fuel, more people will opt to use the cheaper and more environmentally friendly fuel. This can be done through the use of tax incentives. By increasing government research into sustainable and viable solutions, different answers to the changing temperatures and heat waves can be implemented to make a country more environmentally sustainable. Putting a cap on the amount of emission released per household and fining for going over that will encourage people to limit their carbon emission. Improvements in public transportation will be an incentive to citizens. Also, investment in the agriculture and fishery sector of a country can help that sector improve their methods to deal with changing temperature. Perhaps one of the hardest things would be to find solutions that the whole world can agree to. First of all, establishing an environmentally conscious economy would be key. Secondly, policy interventions to establish baselines on carbon emissions, plastic consumption, and methane gas emissions should be implemented. A global panel, much like the panel that created the Millennium Development Goals, should be created to put a deadline on these policies. Lastly, mitigation and adaptation possibilities should be taken into account. According to globalgreenhouse.com, climate mitigation is any action taken to permanently eliminate or reduce the long-term risk and hazards of climate change to human life and property. This may include the switch to renewable energy. From the same site, climate adaptation refers to the ability of a system to adjust to climate change, including climate variability and extremes, to moderate potential damage, to take advantage of opportunities, or to cope with the consequences. This includes the development of flood-tolerant crops, or drought-tolerant crops. Thank you for listening, and we hope this presentation has allowed you to learn about global variations and heat waves.